Well, hello there, and welcome back to Let's Play of Tomb Raider for the Last Revelation for the PS1. It's the one and only, and the fantastic Jamie Clough Gaming here. And let me present to you part 42 of 47. And we are transitioning to another level now. I tend to put the load screen at the start of the next video rather than the previous one, though it does not really make too much of a difference. If you notice, yeah, this will be the Mastabas, despite the fact that we are now back in the Sphinx complex. We are in the Sphinx complex just to get to the Mastabas, and we've come back through underneath the Sphinx and then come back out through the Sphinx complex. So it's quite cool, you know. I think I mentioned that would return here a time or two, but once you've... That was a bit of a funny edit. I just edited myself backwards there. Never mind. So I'm back in the Sphinx complex, which is the first level of GIZA. Very open plan GIZA, mostly outdoors, very atmospheric as well. And I must say, the sound graphics I think they still hold up now, even on the PS1 version. And to be frank, I don't think the sound looks much better on the PC version. It will look more defined, obviously. Well, it's the PC version. I'm going to have to get the PC version, but not now, evidently. Just to see if it really is easier because you can see better, but since the gameplay is exactly the same, we've got 68 secrets. Like I said, I should have 66, so I've only got 4 more secrets to find, and that will make me have 72 out of 70. Which is absolutely crazy, honestly. But this is still the Sphinx complex. It leads to the Mastabas. So the Sphinx complex is a little bit like the Coastal Ruins, because it leads to underneath the Sphinx and the Mastabas. There's interlinking levels there. But you don't come back here as often as you would the Coastal Ruins. I think this is pretty much the last time you see it. So let's wave goodbye to the Sphinx complex and the first level of GIZA. So this is the Mastabas. One of my favourite levels in GIZA is this one. I just love how it's the concept of it, and yes, it's a bit formulaic. Once you've done one of them, you'll get the formula, but the formula is unique to this particular level and nowhere else. So you won't get sick of it that much, I don't reckon, you know. While they got any super ammo, so I'm going to have to use the normal ammo. The Mastabas. What a great name for a level. And Mastabas, I think that just means maze, because it's another one of these maze type levels. Though it's nowhere near as confusing as the underwater maze was. So we'll be okay in terms of that. Also, I'm not sure whether this level is 2 parts or not. It might be. Right, so you've got a fuel station here and a truck and a door there. All of which is absolutely useless too. It's that door, as far as I'm aware, does not open. There's nothing behind it. But we did pick up a rather large item there. It's not an artifact necessarily, it's a gas can. So what possible use can we have for a fuel can? Well, we'll definitely be needing to use that in this level. And if you haven't picked it up, and you go all the way back, you'll have to come all the way back here to pick it up. Unless you cheat for it, so cheat for it would be an option, but if you want to play a game without cheats, then you have to come all the way back and pick it up, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. First time players may well miss out on it the first time. If you're not very observant, it's easy probably to miss out. But I thoroughly recommend exploring every area as thoroughly as possible before you move on, because that's how you learn, of course. Great! I've got revolver ammo. I love the way the revolver ammo looks as well. I love the look of the revolver, and I love the layout sight of the revolver. Potentially my favourite Tomb Raider weapon of all time, aside from the rocket launcher, which is... You just can't beat the rocket launcher from Tomb Raider 3, which is unfortunate because it's only in Tomb Raider 3, but it's also in the expansion part of Tomb Raider 3, which is a bonus. Which most PS1 players will never play in their lives, you know. Unless they get a PC and play on there. And I believe there's no way of downloading that, you have to buy it. I believe the PC version of 2 or 3 automatically comes with it anyway. Could be wrong. It's called the Lost Artifact, and you know how there was 4 of those mystical artifacts in Tomb Raider 3, the Lost Artifact. There's a 5th. There's a 5th artifact of the Hand of Rathmore that Willard hid in Scotland, so you have to go to Scotland to recover it. Thankfully, you don't have to fight Willard again. You do. So Fire Lee does come back to life, but bizarrely, you can defeat her with the rocket launcher in the expansion pack. You couldn't do that in the main game, so it's interesting to note. It would have been better if you could just have to electrocute her again, like you have to do in the main game. But, oh no. And so Fire Lee has been experimenting with hybrids again, so it's interesting. And you also get both Lara's classic outfits, her Nevada outfit, and her cat suit as well, in different roles. It's pretty damn good from what I've seen. Of course, there's Let's Plays of it on the internet, walkthroughs. Some of which aren't there anymore, unfortunately. So it says 69 there. Obviously, I should have 67 secrets. So this might have got 2 bonus secrets, and I could have had so much more. I'm kicking myself really because if only I got them in Karnak. How many secrets could I have had? About 100 out of 70. That would have been hilarious, you know. Even 170 out of 70. No, I think the game would explode if you did that and you die. Holding the game, the last thing you did in your life was something so stupid that you died and what? Oh my god, that's the stupidest thing I've ever said in my life, but probably I've said a lot of stupid things. This is genuine laughter. I'm not putting it on for the cameras or anything. This is genuinely me laughing my head off. It's like when Ricky Gervais genuinely pisses his pants at Carl Plugin. There's Palkin. Oh. Now here I came across an interesting thing. I was trying to open the door. It was already open. So of course when I thought I was opening it, I just shut it. And I couldn't get it open again, so I'd screw myself over. Because I have to get an important item out of there and I can't open it again, so I have to reload the game. I thought there was a fault, but there wasn't. I was just being a spaz, so I had to reload the game. And I do love the use of the paintings on the walls. It's reminiscent vaguely of Tomb Raider 1 and the museum in Tomb Raider 3, which is an Egyptian one. So they always did revisit Egypt. It's just in Tomb Raider 4. They absolutely nailed Egypt for the first time, I feel, whereas they didn't quite do that in Tomb Raider 1 or 3. Especially since Tomb Raider 3 was a museum. And originally there was supposed to be an immortal Egyptian woman you had to fight. Indeed, Lud/Shorty Bob refers to her in the cutscene. So, and then she's not there because they had to take her out because they didn't have time to put her in or something like that. And you don't actually come across the Egyptian lassie who's gone over. So it's a bit confusing if you closely pay attention to the cutscene, then you realise, alright, there's no Egyptian woman to fight after all. So what was he talking about? Well, that was cut out. That was originally supposed to be an Egyptian that you had to find. She was immortal, so you'd have to. I don't know how you would have defeated her or anything. Maybe you could defeat her. Maybe she wasn't immortal. She was just powerful, like Natla, for instance. So, and bringing Natla back in Underworld. I mean, what the hell did they do that for? You know, I still don't know. Because it just I mean, I think teenage girls would love the story, but if you're slightly more mature, you realise the story's a pile of rubbish. Which is shame because the game itself is not that bad to play, and it's got brilliant graphics. But a lot of the levels are very uninspired. Not very inspiring to me, who's a major fan of the classics. Even if you're a fan of Legend, you'll struggle to enjoy Underworld, because Underworld is, rather than evolve Legend's gameplay, it's completely different again, pretty much. Lara's basic moves are the same, of course, except in the PS2 version where they've took them out. Laughing hysterically when she could hardly do any of her acrobatics in the PS2 version of Underworld. Obviously that game was designed for PS3 and Xbox 360, not the PS2. But the problem I find is it's no worse, really, when you think about it. You just don't have that extended level full of big spiders and it looks quite cool. I just couldn't be bothered to do it when I had the proper version either. So I haven't touched it for a good 7 and a bit years. It's February 2013, I think, was when I touched it. And that is just after I finished the last play of Tomb Raider Legend, the old channel called Mobile Phone. The sound and visual quality is absolutely horrendous as a result. It is quite entertaining apart from that. If you can stomach the horrendous quality of it, then it might be something to behold. I've saved the playlist on my current channel so I can have a look at it, but and then I did it again, and then I thought it was a fault, there's a bug, but then when I checked Stella's site, there are no bugs on this level, hardly. So there is one, I think, but it's not to do with shooting these mounts up them. It's not to do with them. So then I was very, very confused. I'm not joking, I spent about half an hour trying to figure this out. I have cut a lot of that back, but and what I like about the UNQUIE in Tomb Raider 4 is in the first 3 games it was big. Still think Tomb Raider 4 it's smaller and sleeker, not as powerful as it used to be, but sort of more effective looking, you know. And it was. Yeah, you got the uses in Tomb Raider Chronicles and they're exactly the same gun as well. So they're in Tomb Raider 4 and 5 like that, but obviously in Ireland you don't get them, and in Von Croy's Tower Block you don't even get the pistols, never mind the uses of the shotgun or the revolver. You just got this strange HK gun and you can't use any of the gun. And it runs out very fast. And if you run out, you're pretty much fucked in the final level anyway, where it requires shooting that robot and electrifying him because he's immortal. And there are 2 of those guys. One of them you just have to trap him rather than kill him, but you have to gas him to death. Actually, I loved that challenge. It was really challenging, and I think it was actually very well thought out. Thinking of it, but the level itself is a bit of a nightmare overall, you know. Very tough indeed, especially if you're going for all secrets. Very tough shooting, very, very, very fast and very accurate. And of course, me not having done that very much, I don't think I've ever gone for that secret actually, so that was the first time I'd ever done it, and I really, really struggled with it. Not only that, we have to do 2 shooting ranges to get the secret. You can't just... Oh my god. And if you fail in the second one, Lara gets gassed to death slowly in her sexy catsuit. So, yes. Oh, at least she looks good when she dies. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. A sexy woman dying for my sins. you feel guilty. Whether she was good looking or not, you know. Murder is murder. It's one of my... it's not very good, but it's one of my... yeah, KRS-One is a bit of a underrated rapper, but at the same time, I'd heard of him and he's very well known. So, but then the rappers everyone talks about, he doesn't necessarily get mentioned. But if you've people who've gone like Public Enemy, of course, they'll know of KRS-One because he was a big fan of Public Enemy. Why I'm saying that, I don't know. The Tomb Raider, just the stuff I'm listening to in the background. Oh my god. So, oh Jesus. Not such a fan of Stank Lover, if I'm honest. Not such a fan of that one. It's a bit heavily bizarre, you know. And I'm not even sure what Stank Love is, to be frank. But yeah, but the one that I'm a big fan of is Explosion, because it's so explosive and fiery and feisty, and you know, all the great elements of hip hop, you know, in my opinion, are in that track. Or music in general, you know, you want something that's a bit spunky, but then again, you might not. You might just want something that's more relaxing, like jazz or old style rhythm and blues, you know, and it actually was rhythm and blues and not watered down hip hop. But yeah, because rhythm and blues, believe it or not, is what rock and roll evolved from. And most people who listen to rock don't even know that it evolved from rhythm and blues, rock and roll. So old style rhythm and blues does sound more like rock than hip hop. So yeah, because it was guitar based, of course. So, but yeah, I suppose Prince was kind of sort of more traditional rhythm and blues musician. He used guitars and stuff, so indeed. I don't know why I'm talking about that in Tomb Raider 4. It's just general rambling, really. When I run out of Tomb Raider related things, I tend to ramble about a lot of nonsense, really. And it's not really relevant anyway, so I don't know. I just need to keep the commentary going, so I tend to ramble on a bit, but it does its purpose as a Let's Play. I thought about quitting Let's Playing because of a number of different reasons, and maybe focus on one video content, which would focus more on individualistic videos rather than several different videos for Let's Play. But others have already done that, so again, I'm not necessarily guaranteed to do any better with that. So some Let's Players still put up gaming content, but they've given up on Let's Playing. That's the case with a lot of them now, of the ones that started in 2010. They're not actually doing it anymore. Probably because you don't get as many views as you used to, and it's more time consuming, and yeah, it takes up a lot of space on the hard drive if you're Let's Playing it. And with this new computer, it hasn't got any space in it, so what I have to do is use the external hard drive for all my videos. There's just not the space at all to do it all, unfortunately. I was expecting... I don't know why I expected this computer to have... Well, at least 600 gigs, and it only has 237, so... It's a bit of a struggle. It only has... Even my old one had 585 gigs. And this one is the same size as my old one, just a lot more modern, so I thought I'd have at least 600 gigs, and I thought less than 300, it's like, what the fuck. Yeah, but if I'd bought the one that I was eyeing up, that was over 900 quid. I'd been well down on my money if I got that one anyway. So I definitely made the right decision in terms of cost effectiveness. But if I'd got that one, it'd have probably, I dare say, about a terabyte of memory. And you know that would last me a good few years. So I'm getting a PC next year anyway. That should have, well, what the PCs have nowadays, about 4 terabytes, and that would last me like years and years and years, potentially, you know. But you never know with a product whether it'll last very long or not. So it depends where you get it from, and obviously I'm not aiming to get one of these like special pieces. I just want an ordinary one that runs okay-ish. I'd still run much faster than this laptop. I have much more memory. That's all I want. That's all I need, you know. Then I can still do things online on this laptop, like just general usage, you know, like casual surfing, and use the PC for contributing. But and I need new television. Still using my bedroom television in 11 minutes. The screen is, sound quality's alright actually, but the screen is just painfully small. It's barely any bigger than my laptop screen, if I'm honest. And apparently, I saw on YouTube, if you break your laptop screen, you can plug your television screen and turn your television into like a PC. That's pretty cool, I guess, for a temporary solution. But no, I actually did want to fix my screen when I brought it because it was a freak incident. And pretty much an incident that happened once but a lifetime that broke it. So it was me having the shit set up with a shit chair. I should have known better to start off with, to be frank. And the chair just fell apart and I couldn't do anything to stop the table flipping over. I thought the computer might be okay, and then I looked and it was, apart from the fact the screen was broken. So, and when the screen's broken, you can't see. Thankfully, the hard drive was okay. It was just the screen that got broken. But that accident there, the first time in my life I've ever had one of them. So I'm guessing if I don't repeat the same mistakes, it shouldn't happen again. So it shouldn't have happened in the first place, in my opinion, you know. But Stella says you can use any gun for that, but it's probably advisable to use a revolver or a crossbow because then you can accurately hit them. Whereas if you see the guns, you're just taking pot shots at the gems. You have to hit the gems pretty accurately. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a bag of sand, which will be very useful. And yes, it's for this level. So the items that you get in this level are pretty much for this level. However, the small water skin is, but you also will carry the small water skin to the end of the game because you need it in the final level as well. By which time you should have also a large water skin. And it's a very clever puzzle involving meters and stuff. I shouldn't go too far into it now because that's like a few levels down the road, at least. A few levels down the road. Yes, this is the Mastabas. We literally do have about... This is a Great Pyramid. Queen's Khufu's pyramids. Inside the Great Pyramid. The Temple of Horus. So we got 4 levels, so this is level 31. Oh, 35. We've only got 4 levels after this, and the game will be finished. The longest classic game will be over finally, and several months after I actually completed it, I'm adding commentary. So it's been over for a while, to be frank. But yeah, it's been really fun to commentate on once again. So I definitely will be doing Age of Darkness That said, my laptop is not currently set to record. I haven't got the software on my new laptop to record games, so it won't be. It won't be soon. It could even be in 3 or 4 months' time down the line. You know, from where I put this commentary on. So it could be a while before I'm let's play again, so to speak. But I think you guys can wait for that. I mean, you're getting these parts put out finally, and with great difficulty, of course, because there's a lot of things that have gone wrong to slow me down a little bit, as you know. As you know if you followed along on Twitter or perhaps YouTube. But on Twitter, I often give out the information that you need while doing these. Let me just check something. Because there's this guy on DeviantArt is saying that it's incredible to me, really. They're saying I've taken their name and I've put it in one of my comic strips, which they do have the same name as my character. But I based their name on a famous YouTuber called Mr. Medica. If they are them, I'll have to change the name, you know. But if they're not, I don't think I'll have to change it. But I don't know, I might change it anyway. But it's a bit of a pain in the ass because that would take a lot of editing to edit all the occurrences of his name out. Well, this person's going to be, she's a woman, I think, but her name is Medica, and I had the name Medica in my comic, and it's not even a recent part of it. It was posted a few months back now. So that was, I didn't ever think that somebody would be bothered that their name matches the name of the character in my comic. And he's not necessarily a recurring character. He was just in that line of pages, and he literally appears nowhere else. So for me, it's not really a big deal if they've got the same name as him, because he's not going to return at any point. He's just one of these obscure guys purely for my female characters to fight against, you know. So it's just one of those obscure names that I never thought somebody would have an issue with that ever in my life, but somebody has taken issue with it, and I'm debating with myself, well, it would